Hey YouTubers, what's happening? Alright, today we're going to do a video tutorial on how to install Cobra Streetrod Slashdown exhaust pipes. And we're going to do it on this bike here. This is a 2011 Honda Shadow Phantom, and I think they'll fit years 2010 and above, maybe even other Honda Shadows and other years, I'm not sure. But my last video was an unboxing, and I was getting ready to start the video for the instructions on how to install them, and then I forgot these. I left them in my other car, so I decided to wait for another day. It doesn't say in the instructions that you need these. These are the exhaust gaskets that go on the head, or the exhaust port. They're just little brass or copper rings, $5 a piece. So if you can afford the exhaust pipes, you can afford $10 for a set of gaskets. Before we can put those on, we have to take the factory exhaust off, so we'll do that now. Alright, the first thing we need to do is we need to move the foot peg out of the way. So you need a 14mm socket. There's 2 bolts that's holding it on right now. Alright, we're also going to take this side panel off. Alright, next thing is we're going to loosen up these bolts here. This is a 12mm socket. And now we're going to do these 2 back here. Alright, the next thing we got to do is remove the rear mounting bolts. There are 2 of them back here for the lower pipe, and 2 right here for the upper pipe. Once you remove the lower bolts, it's kind of a tight squeeze. Now you got to take off these 2 bolts, and it's easier if you, since you got it loose already, you can pull this out a little bit so you can fit your socket on there. Alright, now that we have all the rear bolts off, we're going to take these nuts off the rest of the way, and then take the pipes off as a whole. Okay, now that you have all the hardware off, you want to carefully remove it. Okay, according to the instructions, we're still going to use this mounting plate, but you still want to keep all your hardware. So this one fell back in here. Don't know what happened to the other one. There it is. Keep all your old hardware. All right, that's what it looks like without an exhaust system. All right, before we get the new exhaust ready, we need to take out the copper gasket. You want to be careful doing this. Make sure you don't scratch up the cylinder head, because this is made out of aluminum. Now, by using this screwdriver, I did kind of nick it up a little bit. And what I did was I used the screwdriver and a little ball peen hammer and made a dent in the old copper gasket so that I could get it up and pry it away. It wasn't too bad, but there is a little bit of scoring right here. But once I put the new gasket in and tighten it down, it'll be okay. So now we need to do the same thing with the front. All right, this one's a little bit stubborn, so I'm going to see if I can just pull this one out. There we go. So I mangled it up a little bit, but it wouldn't let me pry, so I just put my pliers on here and pulled it out, came right out. All right, first we're going to install the bottom set, bottom pipe. So we're going to put the new gasket inside of here. All right, it won't stay, so we're going to put some grease on it to help it. Okay, another thing I forgot to mention was this rear bracket here. We can take this off. We need to keep this part on, and then we're going to use this for the new pipes. Okay, we're going to go ahead and install the mounting plate that came with the new pipes, but we're not going to tighten anything up. All right, I'm going to use this aluminum anti-seize lubricant just to see if this will hold this in place until I get the pipes on. So hopefully this works. All right, come on, stay in there. All right. All right, using the stock nuts, I'm going to install this on here. And we're just going to put these on here finger tight for now. Now we're going to do the same thing with the rear set. Alright, now I'm going to take a couple of the supplied hose clamps and just slide them onto here. Alright, then we're going to take the muffler and we're going to attach it. First I'm going to put them on these pipes here. Alright, now that we got the muffler clamps on and the mufflers on, now we need to attach the mufflers to this rear mounting bracket. And we're going to use the supplied nuts with the Loctite on the threads. And you want to put the nuts in from the back. Now that we got the rear muffler mounted to the rear bracket, we're going to tighten up these hose clamps. I'm going to go ahead and wipe this down because we're getting ready to put on the heat shields. I should be wearing gloves because they say that the oils from your hands will cause the chrome to blue once they heat up. Since these are going to be hidden, I'm not so worried about it, but I want it to look fingerprint free anyway. Okay, now we're going to get the heat shields ready. We're going to start with the lower heat shield. It goes right here, and so what we're going to do is we're going to set up the clamps to go inside of these guides right here. There's 3 of them. So we're going to set these clamps up so that they can tighten around the exhaust pipes. So what we're going to do is we're going to unthread them all the way and then push them through. So that they come out this way. Okay, we're going to do that for the other remaining 2. One thing I forgot to mention is make sure you use the bigger hose clamps on the back, because if you look at your pipes, this is a bigger diameter than the ones up front. Alright, now we got to get these hose clamps so that they're around the exhaust pipes. This is going to be tricky. Okay, now that we have them on, we got to tighten up those hose clamps. Alright, so we got the bottom pipe, or the bottom heat shield installed. Now we just have to do the same thing for the top one. You've got 3 guides here. We're going to use the larger one for the back piece. now that we got the heat shields on, we're going to put on the chrome tips. And there's a set screw that you put in the bottom here, and that's what we're going to put in to hold it in place. Actually, it goes right through here. Alright guys, well, the battery in my GoPro died sometime. I'm not sure when, so I'm just going to guess where I was at. I think I was in the process of putting the heat shield on, and I found out this top shield, the hose clamp that I used was too small. I think I used the big one on the front here. Rather than taking it all apart, I just took out the rear hose clamp. I don't think I need it because I got one here and one up there, and it's the rear part of this slips over the muffler, so I did tighten the hose clamps all the way. The hardest part of this whole process was putting the chrome tips on. I was able to get the set screw in on the top one. On the bottom one, no such luck. I mean, you can see there's a little bit of a gap right here. And I tried to use a mallet, a rubber mallet, to pound it in. And even though I think the hole's lined up where the set screw goes, it won't go in. So, and I can't move it anymore. I was beating on it pretty hard with a rubber mallet, and it won't go on anymore. So I'm going to hope that it doesn't come off while I'm riding. So, and then I tightened up the muffler bolts to the mounting plate, and then the mounting plate to the motorcycle. I tightened those up. So now all I got to do is tighten up the exhaust bolts, and that's what we're going to do next. Alright, as a reminder, this is the 12mm socket, and what I'm going to do is just tighten up both sides gradually. Now the guy at the Honda dealership told me that this is supposed to be torqued down to 15 foot-pounds. And of course I can't get the... Well, the problem that I'm having is whenever you use an extension with a torque wrench, throws your readings off. So I'm just going to guess. I'll tighten it, but just not too tight. And I think that's tight enough. Okay, same thing with the front set. Alright, now that we got all the bolts tightened up, we need to replace the foot peg. Well, here it is. Cobra Streetrod Slashdowns installed. Lessons learned. Give yourself a little bit more time than you think. It's hard to get to a lot of the bolts. I tried to list all the sizes of sockets that you're going to need. The one mistake I made is I used too small of a hose clamp on the back. I thought I measured them out right, but apparently I didn't. The big one's actually on the front of the rear pipe. Another thing is the tips. For the top one, I sprayed a little bit of WD-40 on it, and I was able to screw in the set screw. The bottom one, I couldn't get that lucky, and it's on there tight. I tried to take it off, I couldn't. So hopefully after it warms up, it won't fall off. Other than that, I saved myself a bunch of money by doing it myself. So I'll install or show you before and after pictures. And I'm going to go for a ride now. So have a good one.